Your team is the same, but it has become a virtual team overnight thanks to COVID. I know many of you would have never imagined that one day you will lead your entire team virtually, not just for a few days, but for months at a stretch with no end in sight. So, how have you flexed your leadership style to handle this virtual team that you have now? Or should I ask, have you flexed your leadership style to suit the virtual environment? Hi, I'm Sonali Sinha, an executive coach and leadership facilitator, and I'm back with my series on conversations with leaders. Virtual teams have been around for a while, and there is a lot of research to see how effective virtual teams are vis-a-vis co-located teams and what makes virtual teams successful. Researchers have found that there is no difference in terms of performance, quality, or successful outcomes between a co-located team and a virtual team, provided there are 4 factors in play. These are smaller teams, good management style, community spirit, and effective technology. Let's look at each of these in a little more detail. Smaller teams have been seen to perform better whether as a co-located team or as a virtual team, because in smaller teams it's easier to build trust and to share knowledge. When we look at management styles, if the team has to be a distributed or a virtual team, then it's important to have team members who are able to build relationship at a distance and are also comfortable working alone. At the same time, the leader of a virtual team needs to have the ability to build trust and relationship and to empower people from a distance. So for a virtual team to be successful, the management style becomes even more important than it is in the case of a co-located team. The fourth aspect, which is effective technology, first, technology needs to be available so that it is convenient for people to communicate with each other. But more importantly, the leader needs to be able to use that technology effectively. And also the team members need to be comfortable with the technology that they use. So what research shows is that for virtual teams to be successful, there has to be more planned and deliberate effort to make it work. It's easy for team members to feel isolated and get anxious when they're working remotely. So as a leader, it becomes even more important for you to actively handle this challenge. The leadership skills required to succeed remain the same. You have to continue being authentic, connecting with people, networking, empowering them, and building trust. But how you execute these skills in a virtual environment is different. It needs to be more intentional and deliberate. You as a leader at a distance need to work harder to understand the aspirations and challenges of your team and figure out ways to help them collaborate with each other. This may require you to check in with them more frequently. When I say check in, I'm not talking about work reviews. I'm talking about having those casual conversations which you would normally have in a meeting or when you meet people in the corridor or in the coffee shop or even in the parking lot. The challenge for you is to have those casual conversations in this virtual environment, because these conversations build relationship and they build trust. The fact is that these conversations don't just happen on their own in a virtual setup. You need to be deliberate and you need to plan to have these conversations regularly and consistently. So some of the key areas for you to focus on are your communication skills. How well do you use technology and how often do you communicate? Also, how well do you listen? Because we know that listening is very important for team success. The team members take their cues from you. So you need to model active listening and asking questions to gather information to make up for the lack of visual inputs that are not present in a virtual environment. The second important aspect is team building. As a leader, you need to understand virtual team dynamics and you need to be looking out for signs of lack of trust or discord and address those challenges upfront. Successful leaders tend to use strategies such as planned celebrations or activities to help people reconnect even in scheduled meetings. The third and very important area is result focus. The goal of any team is the work output and not how much time is spent at the desk. So a leader who is able to get the team to focus on the output that they're working towards is likely to be more successful. This also means that you need to have clear metrics, roles and responsibility, and constructive and regular feedback for the team to be able to deliver high performance. So there you have it, all the things that you need to succeed as a leader of a virtual team. I know we did not plan for this, but it has happened and several months have gone by. So maybe this is the time for you to sit back and reflect on how well your leadership style is working for your virtual team and how you may want to tweak it to help the team perform better. If you want to discuss further, please feel free to reach out by clicking on the link above. Talk soon. Thank you.